Ναι, καλημέρα σας. Καλημέρα σας, κυρίες και κύριοι. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I work for the World Economic Forum, which many of you know primarily through our annual meeting in Davos. And our regional events. At the World Economic Forum, I'm responsible for engaging leading European companies in our activities. In this capacity, I have the opportunity to interact with top European CEOs on a relatively frequently basis. For the most part, the discussions I have with them revolve around the pressing issues that they face on a daily basis. How to be ahead of the competition, their P&L, how to improve their bottom line. After all, they are all accountable to their shareholders on a daily basis. However, more and more, they are increasingly excited and simultaneously concerned about the future. More specifically, they are looking at what we call the fourth industrial revolution and the impact on their business and societies. So what is the fourth industrial revolution? Why now? And what will be the impact on Greece? At the Forum, we believe that we stand on the verge of a technological revolution that will fundamentally change the way we live, work, and interact. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything we have experienced so far. But first, let me put this in the context of the past industrial revolutions. The first industrial revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. The second used electric power to create mass production. The third used electronics and information technology to automate production. Now, a fourth industrial revolution is building on the third, the digital revolution. There are two main reasons why today's transformations represent not a simple continuation of the third industrial revolution, but rather the arrival of the fourth one, velocity and scope. When compared with previous industrial revolutions, the fourth is evolving at an exponential rather than a linear pace. Moreover, it is disrupting almost every industry in every country. The fourth industrial revolution was the key theme of Davos this January and will be the key theme of our upcoming events in Latin America, ASEAN, China, and so on. But let's see what people are saying about the fourth industrial revolution. Here are some quotes from Davos this year. Pierre Nanterre, CEO of Accenture, emphasizing the impact of the fourth industrial revolution. Robert Shiller, 2013 Nobel laureate in economics and professor at Yale, emphasizing the urgency. And finally, Professor Klaus Schwab, founder and chairman of the World Economic Forum, emphasizing the opportunity and the challenges that come along. But is the fourth industrial revolution already here, or is it another bubble that will soon burst? Let's see some concrete examples. Sharing economy. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Of the sharing economy that have given customers more choices while creating opportunities for people to find a job and make some extra money. For example, in Saint-Saint-Denis, one of the poorest suburbs of Paris with huge unemployment rates, especially among youth, becoming a Uber driver is actually now the most popular job. On the other hand, the sharing economy is challenging mainstream operators, hotel chains in the case of Airbnb, taxi drivers in the case of Uber. But most importantly, some of these new business models have started creating problems for societies. A few days ago, Berlin decided to ban Airbnb as rental prices have started going up, driven by a drop of the available apartments for rent. Owners are just realizing that renting their apartments via Airbnb is much more profitable than renting them on the long term. 3D printing. On the left hand of the screen, you can see a 3D printed vertebra that was implanted into the spine of a 12-year-old bone cancer patient. Compared to traditional methods, this implant allows for a shorter and less inconvenient recovery time. According to a 2015 survey conducted by the World Economic Forum, among 800 technology executives and experts, 76% of them expect that the first 3D printed liver will be developed by 2025. By the way, 84% of them expect that by 2025, the first 3D printed car will go in production. However, unfortunately, as you can see in the image on the right, 3D printing can be used for much less noble purposes. This year in Davos, in our convention center, we displayed a fully functional 3D printed gun, with the exception of a small piece that we had to remove for security reasons. Otherwise, our security team wouldn't allow us to bring it in the convention center. And this comes with a big question. What if, in the future, someone could just download software and print a gun in his own home? These are questions that we'll need to answer sooner than later. Artificial intelligence. This is a single number. It's a billion, 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 and so on. It's the number of legal positions in the board game called Go, a very popular board game in Asia, like chess. Even the most powerful computers can't simulate a minimum fraction of them, and this is why experts thought that it will take a long time for a computer to master Go. However, a few weeks ago, AlphaGo, a computer developed by Google, surprisingly defeated Lee Sedol, the Korean champion, considered one of the best players in the world 4 times out of 5. If you remember, in '96, IBM's Deep Blue beat Kasparov in a chess game. So what's new? Where Deep Blue achieved its performance by pure computing power, AlphaGo performance is based on machine learning, and it resembles human decision-making. It learns and improves by looking at patterns. The implications for science technology of this new form of artificial intelligence that uses big data to make decisions are huge. Last but not least, this is Google's fully autonomous vehicle. We all know that it can revolutionize mobility in the near future. I'm convinced that in the future, my grandkids will be shocked when they will hear that I used to drive a car. However, how will its artificial intelligence react when a dog will suddenly appear in front of it? Will it try to avoid it, risking damaging the car? Or will it just decide to knock down the dog? These are decisions that we humans make instantly and have moral implications. But what would that mean for a machine? These are just a few examples of the fourth industrial revolution that is happening around us as we speak. But what does all this mean for us? What will be the impact for business and societies? Like everything new in life, the fourth industrial revolution brings with it both great opportunities and challenges. The fourth industrial revolution has the potential to reduce poverty, improve productivity, provide access to finance, education, and health to millions of people, help eradicate diseases, and improve the quality of life, among others. At the same time, the fourth industrial revolution could yield greater inequality and disrupt labor markets. We should never forget that around 2.6 billion people around the world lack clean water and sanitation, and that around 60% of the world population does not have access to internet. These people haven't even realized the benefits of the second or the third industrial revolution. Another challenge is the potential threat to privacy that comes along with data sharing. Similarly, the revolutions occurring in biotechnology and artificial intelligence will force us to redefine our moral and ethical boundaries. I know that for many of us, the fourth industrial revolution seems scary. It is the fear of the unknown. However, what is important to know is that neither technology nor the disruption that comes along are forces under which we, humans, have no control. In the end, it all comes down to people. We need to shape a future that works for us by putting people first. As our chairman says, in its most pessimistic form, the fourth industrial revolution may indeed have the potential to robotize humanity, and thus to deprive us of our heart and our soul. But it can also lift humanity into a new era where societies are more prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable. It is our duty to make sure the latter prevails. In conclusion, I would like to say a few words about the Fourth Industrial Revolution in Greece. While I was preparing this presentation, I was wondering how would it fit in today's discussion? How would it fit into the context of Greece and its current difficult economical and social situation? I believe that the Fourth Industrial Revolution is very relevant for Greece, and to be honest, I was actually surprised from the previous discussions that I didn't hear a lot discussion about digital, about the transformation that digital has on industries. I think that the Fourth Industrial Revolution will have a big impact on Greece, first of all, because we live in an interconnected world. Greece is not isolated. As such, the Fourth Industrial Revolution will also have an impact on Greece, and this will happen soon. You, as the most prominent business leaders of Greece, you should be prepared. Sectors like banking, logistics, and tourism, some of the pillars of the Greek economy, will be affected. Finally, I would like to finish on a positive note, as it was with the previous speakers and panelists. I'm optimistic about Greece in the long term. Greece has a remarkable human capital, a well-educated youth. This youth needs hope, opportunities, and in my opinion, as also Mrs. Athanasiou mentioned, a different educational and cultural system. A system that fosters entrepreneurship and risk-taking, two factors that are essential to harness the changes that inevitably come along with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Thank you very much. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.